Hey everyone, welcome to POPXP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the POPXP channel.
Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of WTF movie reviews on POPXP. Team Sensation Billy Tucci in the house, Blevins is in the house, TJ James, Mr. Noel, and Adam Lawson.
Hello.
What is up,
You're not the only
gentlemen?
one with wings. I'm just letting
I
you
got
know.
a turtle.
I
Thanos
believe
is
I can fly. You know what else has wings?
Where's she with wings?
Where is
Look at her
she?
right here. She's got her Sashimoto's. If you see, if I can go big, Doctor. Now
Go big. Here we go,
go
bro.
big and go home. See,
There you go.
they're kind of like wings, but I don't think Anna's wings compare anything to
The duck stick.
the duck stick has wings.
The duck stick.
The power of the
Nice.
duck
Stick compels you.
compels you. Look at that.
Nobody understands the true
What is-
Nobody knows.
of the duck stick.
What?
Ooh.
Believe in love. Love is the way.
Ah.
You don't have to be this way. Just believe in love.
I don't know how that happened.
I've got the impossible.
Winged creature. Oh,
Whoa.
winged creatures just came up. I mean, you didn't say us to tell us to do that, but we just all happen
Yeah,
to
we
have
all
them.
did it naturally. I like that I can hold up a toy and
I
everybody
didn't
else
have
has
one.
toys.
I didn't have one.
I held up a toy and everybody else had one ready, and I didn't feel so lonely. And so everybody else held their toys up together, and I said, "Hey, do you see this? I'm not alone."
I'm not alone in my toys. Hail the duck stick. Yes, indeed.
At least Howie got the notice for tonight's outfit. I mean,
Thank
come
you.
on.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the
Blockbuster,
uniform.
baby.
Where the hell did you guys get that?
At the Blockbuster store.
That's right, at Blockbuster. We're members. I got my card up here.
Wait a minute.
No one
Wait a
authorized that. No one authorized that.
Nobody.
We're
No
the
one
only
authorized
two
that.
shareholders left.
Nope.
Right?
No.
Come on, guys.
Nice.
That's the real
That's
deal.
how
That's
I watched
the real
this
deal.
movie. I went to Blockbuster and I rented this sack
Yes,
of crap.
Yeah, you did.
Howie,
I think I might have a little
Shelly's
something
here.
here,
Come
though.
on,
What about
Shelly.
this?
My wife, Shelly Knowles, joining us. Oh, Billy's got it. Billy's got it.
He never
I gave
returned
it to
it.
5 days.
Damn one upper.
You haven't
never
returned
returned
it. It's been another
I have not
2 days.
returned Memento since 1999, since 2000.
Oh, dear Lord. I think that's late.
I mean,
Billy's
what's the fee on that?
Blockbuster going under. Billy's here now.
Please remember to is that what it
Yeah,
says on the
Yeah,
shirt?
Please remember to rewind. No, this says make it a Blockbuster night.
Oh, dude, they were great Blockbuster
Right.
nights.
I do have my card. I showed
Hey,
him.
last time I was there was when at Memento.
Hey, so now that we're all here and we got everybody together, now the real reason that we're all here tonight, we had to let everybody think that this was going to be a Wonder Woman 84 review, but in reality, this is an intervention for Niall.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yep.
You're among
Yeah.
friends. You're among friends right now, Niall.
Time to intervene, my
This is a
friend.
safe- This is a safe place.
Yep.
It's a big place.
That's
We
fine.
need-
Water.
You gotta stop drinking.
It's a Manhattan.
got to.
The more I sip this, the more I enjoy it.
Well, it.
Oh man!
you
Now,
don't need to hang out.
how is your Manhattan made? Is it a Southern Manhattan with Southern Comfort and Maker's Mark? And
It's
sweet
actually
blue?
bottle service, which is not. This is not sponsored or anything, but this was a gift, and it's a Manhattan crafted with rye whiskey, sweet vermouth. Is that how you say it? Vermouth.
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 Bitters. in
Wonder Woman
citrus
might
oil.
say, "For mouth, believe in wishes
Yeah.
and love."
And love.
And that's what we're here for, because we all have seen Wonder Woman 84.
Unfortunately, you are correct.
Now, wait, though. Who actually went to the theater to see it?
You know, I tried over the holiday with my folks who are in Utah, but it didn't work out, and so HBO Max.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a bar with a projection screen, so that's like the theater.
Oh.
I put my phone on every
And
time.
Howie, who is the lovely lady over your right?
This is my lovely wife, Shelly.
Yes, Shelly. Welcome, Shelly. Oh, the beautiful.
Shelly puts my books together, does the website, does everything, blah, blah,
Oh
everything.
wow!
Keeps me functioning.
I've heard a rumor that Shelley was the best. Just
She
saying.
is. I heard
She's the best.
Better than the rumors about
Nice.
Robo.
she's better than Wonder Woman 1984.
Right.
Well, what's just for a quick recap? I mean, did you guys enjoy the film?
No.
We enjoyed, I liked being able to watch a new film. It was cool.
I thought it was cool to watch a new film in my house.
It was neat to watch something new. And I like Pedro Pascal. I like Gal Gadot, and I like Chris Pine. And I like music and moving pictures. I like when they put still pictures together and they move. That's a really neat thing. And that happened.
Well, I mean, I think that
Lighthearted
I think that
entertainment,
yeah, and I think it's easy to say, at least for myself, that like I was definitely a fan of the first film, and the cast. The first film was, I think that hands down was a really enjoyable film. Patty Jenkins did a good job directing it. Zack Snyder and Alan Heinberg wrote a good movie. Gal Gadot was great in Wonder Woman, and her relationship with Chris Pine was pretty special. And there were some really nice moments that executed in that film, and it's like, I think, which is why as we're coming into this one, it's like it was a little tough, right? Because you went from something that was a really successful thing on so many levels, right? It could have gone bad and it went great, and maybe they didn't quite deliver that. Because I agree with you, Kristen Wiig, Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, these people are not untalented, right?
No.
We have so many, and these are Pedro Pascal. These are legit folks.
I thought he was
right?
amazing. Yeah, I thought, and Kristen Wiig, I love Kristen Wiig, and it's just, you can see when all these elements are combined, and it comes deep down to story, and there seems to be something deeply wrong with the story and the essential pitch where they're not working together, and this is what.
Well, the individual performances are good. It's when they combined everything.
Way more energetic than she was allowed to be on Ghostbusters. This felt more like Kristen Wiig than Ghostbusters was allowed to be. And I feel so bad for her once again to have a blockbuster where she's stuck like that, and it's not her fault at all.
And she's super funny and good. Yeah.
Hey, Terry.
The interesting thing, though, the
live
big
performers of all time, and this is what they do to her when she gets to be in blockbuster movies, because she was in the Skeleton Twins. She's amazing.
Skeleton
Twins, Bridesmaids, amazing.
I mean, I still laugh at that film. When you think about her in that film, you still laugh.
Absolutely. These damn blockbusters that she doesn't write.
I think
it's an interesting thing, though, right?
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
I work for Blockbuster.
Yeah. I don't know why you keep using
say, Howie.
Why are we doing this, Niall?
Why are we talking about Blockbuster?
What are the key differences, though, between the feeling of ship was Frankenstein?
I agree completely on the Frankenstein.
Yeah. Is it the first movie was written by Zack Snyder and Alan Heinberg, right? And I think there was a third writer there too. I hate to miss them as well. But the second film was written by Patty Jenkins and
Jeff Johns.
And Jeff Johns, right?
Jeff Johns is in there, and you can tell it kind of feels like he's like, I've got another Post-it note.
Yeah, I think so. Which is unfortunate because the creative team, I don't know why you would shift up that kind of that key element is pretty key.
And it was so amazing. We all liked it. We'd like a little tweak maybe to the last third act where you're fighting Ares. Change a little bit.
Yeah, the blue energy thing. Maybe we could fix it.
Maybe a little bit of that. Yeah. Maybe just end it when there is no Ares. That would have been cool. When she found out, man really sucks. There is no Ares. Imagine that. Where she's like, oh, shit.
Well, this question is specific for Adam as a director. How, when you see a film like this that's kind of chopped up, right? And we'll get into a little more detail about some of the things that really didn't make sense. But when you see that, I mean, what do you think in your head, like as the process, like, are you thinking like, well, why the heck did they do it this way? What direction? Where was the direction they were trying to go in? Because it didn't seem to really have one.
No, I made a lot of television. I've made many movies, and some of which have been really critically acclaimed, and some of which certainly have not been. And I think that when it comes to this type of experience where it's so big and it's so heavy, and you think like, wait, this is the marquee thing. It's this massive company. It's AT&T. Like, they're gonna come through with all guns firing. It's actually very easy to make a mistake then, because you have no rules, because you have all the resources, you have all the hype behind you, and you're blinded by your past success. So it's easy to just be like, we can't go wrong in the process of it. And it's amazing how there can be bad notes can come in, people can lose sight of the story, and sometimes, along the way, you're writing a scene to fix a problem, right? This is often the case. Hey guys, I don't feel like there's enough humor, right? Patty writes a scene to add humor. Hey, the ending needs to be bigger. She writes the ending bigger. And all of a sudden, you've been noted into an experience that is a mess, and it's very easy to get there. Whereas the team who's making it is in a bubble, right? And they feel like, oh, great, that the funny part's here, ding, and they can sign off on this, and it's really easy to happen. And it's surprising, actually, how easy it is to happen, even with people who know how to do it. So when you look at a film like that is the first thing I think, whatever that process was along the way, people were getting blinded, maybe removed some of their usual checks and balances. Like, I know as a writer, I have weaknesses. Any creative does. And good creatives surround themselves with people who go, oh, hey, you're about ready to make that one mistake you often make. Oh, yeah, that's right. Not that one. But it gets easy. Those people are hard to listen to sometimes. And so it gets easy to remove them and say, oh, no, my first instincts are all right. And they're not. And so that's what I look at. That's what I sit back and look at that film. And I'm like, that's what happened there. Because clearly the people on camera are, and the crew and team these are talented people. So it just seems it has all those earmarks of that experience with something so obvious as literally in Justice League, she says to Batman, I've abandoned the human race for 100 years. Yeah. All right. Cut to 1984. Well, except for this one time when the entire planet, I spoke to them simultaneously.
How does that happen? And the timeline was disrupted. But she knocked out some cameras at the mall, so nobody has any memory.
Right.
Yeah, it was just like literally that you were so looped up in your own bubble that you're like, bro. And then why did you set it 84 in the first place? Oh, to preserve the timeline. But then you already betrayed your timeline, or did you do it for nostalgia?
I think it was 84 for nostalgia, but also they didn't even use any of the 1984 music.
Yeah, what did they add?
It didn't reference much of 1984, and that was a great.
And the fake Reagan. I hated the fake Reagan. Reagan.
Exactly.
Fake
Reagan was, I don't know. He was a fantastic president. I mean, he basically forced the Soviet Union to collapse. And here they have this bumbling, power-hungry madman that wants to go to war or something.
Put Reagan in the movie. I mean, Watchmen had Nixon. Put him in the movie, and then you don't have any of the music. Any of the music, like Stranger Things did all the music. Right. It's so 80s, and especially season 3. I thought this was going to be like season 3 of, there'd be mullets and it'd be like
Adam would have had the music. I would have had the music.
I would have had the music. And you would have had the
gloves.
The trailer had the music. Yeah. The trailer had New Order. So what happened to this movie?
Yeah. And how, let me say it's crazy also too, because you're making a nostalgia play. But the thing about it, once again, by being in that bubble, is 1984. I'm writing a movie with a Chinese writer right now, an animated film, and 1984 is not nostalgic for China. It's actually not nostalgic at all. In fact, that's a dark, bleak part of their history that they're not interested in.
Right.
So once again, that bubble, you're in a bubble where you think, oh, 80s, everybody loves it, except for the 1.4 billion people who live in China and are the only ones who can go to the box office. They don't actually like.
That's a mistake because this movie wasn't attractive to them at all. It's kind of like Star Wars.
But the last few attempts to get the Chinese.
They tried to get him with Star Wars, and that didn't work.
It performed terribly there, even though the first one did pretty good. Yeah. And it's an odd bubble once again.
Then don't. You're not making it for that bubble. I mean, honestly, this was made before this hit. This was made
clearly
promising us 80s. They had zero 80s music. They had
that was so odd.
It was so bizarre, that one fake song.
Yeah.
It was like it felt like like that relax, don't do it, but it wasn't.
It was a rest off of Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's so odd to me that if you put a couple of songs in, we'd feel a lot better.
Yeah,
like the Wedding Singer had all the songs.
They didn't have the Wonder Woman theme. But
No.
you know, like they didn't even have that.
They played it once, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
I don't even remember.
As a member of the class of '84, which I graduated high school.
Oh, he knows.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. I lived it, bro.
Hey,
we saw
I can tell you guys about 1984.
I was a burst of life in 1984.
Yeah, I mean,
my thing went to this thing, and then I became this thing.
Like, how come Wonder Woman and Cheetah didn't have a dance battle to fix things? You know,
breaking, bro.
Now here's the thing. Also, another
like,
1984.
she didn't have Turbo and Ozone with her. Little TKO action. What's
but
up?
the famous thing about 1984 is, of course, the novel. This had nothing to do with the novel.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with changing your history. Like, imagine if Max Lord was like, 1984, it means I have control of your thoughts, because he is a thought control. He is a telepath, but he didn't control your thoughts. He just grabbed them and used them. But I'm saying, what if it was, now I'm going to change the past? That makes sense for Wonder Woman 1984. I'm going to change what happened and what we live in. They didn't do anything with that idea. Why was it 1984?
Yeah,
exactly.
What's the point of it being in 1984?
Yeah. So I agree too. I was around then too, and it makes me feel like, though, once again, that I think back to that bubble experience as well too. Also, I remember that Patty Jenkins said, I kind of based Pandora's character on Donald Trump, and it's like, and it's kind of an odd statement because it's like he wasn't the president in it, and he he didn't own hotels, and so it was kind of odd because it's like if I said, hey, I based a character on Abraham Lincoln, and in this movie the character frees slaves, you'd go, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
But there's not actually really a connection, so it's just like, once again, this like, you're setting it in the 80s for a reason, but then you're referencing a guy in 2020 as your character, right? So it's like, what a mishmash.
I'm trying to say he was making false promises and not delivering, which is what so that was the correlation that the online was trying to make between Trump and him. But you're right. I mean,
but he was.
It's like, well, then why go to 1984, right? And then bring back somebody from 2020, right? It's like, I agree. It's like, you're right, the false promises, but it's really abstract false promises, because there's probably 50 people that fall into that category, and he wasn't, anyway. So I think a lot of these things come into play also too, like thematically, right? We have a struggle where, like, the opening scene, the little girl cheats to get ahead, essentially, right? But what's that theme? And then it never really comes around. She cheated, and that worked out great.
I'm trying to work with whoever has the wrench in the chat room to tell me what that song was, because they're chastising me and telling me I don't know enough about my Frankie Goes to Hollywood. And I'll be like, I don't know enough Frankie Goes to Hollywood. You know why? Because they have relax, and I don't care if you have a tool next to your name. You have a wrench, a hammer, a whatever, a spoon. It's Frankie Goes to Hollywood is relax. Sorry, I don't know all their songs. You're right.
Two Tribes is even better.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't know all the Frankie Goes to Hollywood songs.
Whoa. Howie, maybe you should just relax.
Just do it when you want to come to it. Relax. I'm sorry, but neither of the songs were in the movie. They weren't in the movie. So.
You know what also wasn't in the movie? Karate Kid. Why was Karate Kid not in the movie?
Can I get an answer from the wrench in the comments?
It's heroin.
What song was in the movie? What is the song in the movie?
He's going to look it up here in a second.
Come on, wrench.
Wouldn't
Not to be confused with my sister-in-law, the wench.
Oh.
If she's listening. She goes by the nickname Wench.
Can I play this now?
Yes. No, we'll get taken down. Just sing it. Sing it on your own.
Play the Zoolander version.
Yeah, there's got to be a cover version like it.
Yeah, but to get back to what you were talking about, Adam, with the whole opening sequence and the whole cheating, right? And then I think like all that was to do was to end up, it was like, oh, so that point really just introduced the armor because it didn't go anywhere from there. But that beginning was cool. Like I was like into it.
I'm like,
I know.
Awesome.
In my mind, why aren't we just spending the whole movie in Themyscira? It's like, because if it's gonna be, she didn't do anything for 100 years, maybe she was just hanging out there, and so we could really explore that, because that was to me, that was the coolest part, right? And all those cool Amazon women in that fantasy place, and then it's like you go to a mall in the 80s, and some random antique shop in a mall has a device that can grant everyone in the world a wish. It's like, could we have given that a little bit more gravity than, the goons, the 4 common goons.
That guy drops his gun and then everybody freaks out.
The Home Alone burglars, as people.
It's like this guy Joe Pesci shows up for a quick interstitial, and it's like, guys, we're talking about an artifact that grants everyone on the earth a wish.
I know that
bring people back from the dead. I mean, why?
Artifact that grants wishes, I would keep it in a strip mall, in the back room of a strip mall jewelry store.
Yep.
That's
where any 16-year-old can break the law.
Yeah.
Safe.
And then these 4 goons in broad daylight when the mall is packed to think that that's the perfect time.
Yeah.
To feel this.
Did you guys notice that?
It's just like, how could you go from Themyscira to that? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. During the fight, somebody pointed out to me on another review, when she's fighting 2 guys at once, there's one guy doing this on the ground because they were supposed to CG the rope around him and they forgot.
No, I didn't see that.
The one guy is on the ground doing this like he's roped up, and they forgot to put the rope around him.
Well, good for that actor for committing. He committed to his role. So it's, and that's the other thing also too is what's just kind of also disappointing is that the first fight, in the modern in 1984, right, is her fighting goons. She's somebody that can get in a fist fight with Superman and can get hit by a tank, and she's fighting goons. Yeah. And so already you set the stakes that there are no stakes, right? And
she's
then
fighting guys at a mall, and she was just in the trenches at World War One.
Yeah.
It's just like fighting Ares, the god of war, and now it's really an underwhelming choice to give us the 80s shopping mall experience, which really it just didn't play out, right? And then what seems like once again you're trying to mix and match. Oh, the mall in the 80s, people love it. And the fact we'll just put this artifact. I mean, the scope of the power of that artifact.
So what was the deal with the lasso?
Yeah,
I mean, suddenly she becomes Tarzan of
lightning.
Don't even go to the lightning.
From the first Wonder Woman, this is the thing I hated about another movie that Patty Jenkins did, which was Thor: Dark World. In Thor: Dark World, they had these the extra dimensional black hole grenades that were the most powerful weapon that I've ever seen in comic books ever. That took down the curse and all that stuff. So they make these weapons just absolutely crazy. So from Wonder Woman 1 to this movie, the lasso of truth has just became the greatest weapon in the history of weapons.
Sure.
I mean, it could do everything. Swing from lightning, propel off.
Which is a cool idea.
Catch a bullet. Yeah, I was out.
Yeah, and I think once again it's back to this and then it's like you bring Chris Pine back, who everybody loved, except he's now no longer funny and charming. I don't know.
Not for the curses.
Oh,
he's this guy.
Oh, snap.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, Adam. That was harsh.
It sucks to be this man.
It does.
He has no recollection that he has slept multiple times with the most powerful woman in the world.
Yeah.
The beautiful Amazon woman.
Now if I may,
the whole inhabiting the body, once again, a ton of work, a ton of story. Once again, to not just say he's just back from the dead, guys. Let's just keep it simple. We back.
Why did he just bring him back? Why did he have to inhabit somebody?
Why can everybody in the world's wish be easily granted, no matter what it is, but Chris Pine can't just be sort of a magical being? Yeah. It makes no sense.
Why not just bring him back? Like people have said, walls popped out of air.
Yeah,
The walls came up out of nowhere. Chris
sense.
Pine could have showed up out of nowhere. You don't need to molest this poor dude with a ghost. He's got ghost molested like he's Whoopi Goldberg.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it brings in a lot of like conversations
by the way. Don't clip
about consent and all kinds of weird stuff. It's like
it's gross.
I don't. Why would you incorporate these things? Like, oh, so now you're mind controlling somebody and yet being intimate. Like, this is just like,
what
was the payoff?
And where is he? Where is his soul at that point? And
Yeah.
We got the wrench. I've been corrected, but this is awesome. Heroin Berg, who is the moderator, says that the songs were a little bit of Cars, a little bit of Rio. But the song, the Frankie Goes to Hollywood is Pleasure Dome. That's why we thought it sounded like Relax. It's actually the song Pleasure Dome.
It was cheaper to get Pleasure Dome.
But it is
Relax.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood. So that's why it sounded like Relax.
Well, now here's another thing. And speaking of cheating.
They got it right. Heroin Berg had the correct information. I don't know shit about Frankie Goes to Hollywood other than Relax.
Go ahead, Billy.
No, what is that? You had two things. And speaking of cheating, what about the scene that was left on the cutting room floor? Is when that poor dude's girlfriend walked in on him banging fucking Wonder Woman, and then she threw the woman out the window, killed her.
I mean, I know it's
no, but seriously though, I mean, let's get to a very serious point. What if this was, say, like I said, let's say this was Captain America.
Murder, go.
And he came back.
Well, Captain America did that at the end of Endgame.
Yeah, what if he did it to Agent Carter, though? And here's some poor girl that Agent Carter somehow inhabits her body. And then here's Captain America, Chris Evans, having sex with this woman against her will. What if it was Chris? Because it's
Captain
kind of
America would absolutely do it. Chris Evans, absolutely. He ignored 9/11, according to Endgame. He allowed all these things to happen, according to Endgame. Captain America was there the whole time and ignored it. So he's pretty much this version of Wonder Woman.
He's the worst.
Yeah,
but
he is the worst villain we've ever known.
I see what you're saying, Tucci. Why would you incorporate that into like what you had in the first one, which was this really delightful, romantic, fun relationship? Now you've got like this weird pseudo rape, odd.
Ghost, possession.
Yeah.
Get that.
You're in his room. You're in his apartment.
And for no real reason. Like, there really wasn't a reason to need to inhabit somebody else's body. There was no reason.
I know.
And then at the end,
I agree.
And then at the end, he's the one nice guy that does not catcall anybody. And he was like, when he saw her, he's like, hey, cool. Thanks for making me have a good day. And he left her alone and didn't even repeatedly hit on her. And I'm like, you just tortured this guy's body.
Yeah.
It's way weird. It was a way weird.
No, I wouldn't. Now, has Jeff John
the one
been
other
interviewed about
problem I had with this is Steve Trevor was a pilot from World War I.
Dude.
Step up from freaking biplanes. And yet he gets behind the stick of a freaking modern jet fighter and has no problems flying it.
Yeah, I mean, all those planes had, those World War I biplanes had, was a fuel gauge. And a lot of them didn't even have that. There was no altimeters. There was no speedometers. There was no instruments whatsoever. There might have been a compass on it. You know, I'm sure there was a compass that they put a compass in, you know, to be able to get back to their lines and all. But aside, so he's riding the last plane he flew, except for that monstrosity that he flew, the Gotha bomber.
Yeah, the super plane.
Yeah, I mean, they're made of canvas and balsam with wires. And he can jump in a fueled fighter plane that is on the tarmac of the Smithsonian. I didn't know they had fighter planes at the Smithsonian Instrument fully fueled and ready to go.
Not fueled, but they do out at Dulles. They have
they do have them. They do have them, but I agree with you.
They're not fueled.
No.
They're museum pieces.
The irony of all of this, though, is if that he was just sort of magically brought back by the stone instead of creepily inhabiting somebody else's body, I could have forgiven all of that.
And why did they choose that guy?
Yeah, who is he? Is he like
why this poor guy? This poor
his name in the movie. His name in the movie is Handsome Guy.
He has no personality or being.
Go look at Internet Movie Database. The name of the character is Handsome Guy.
You know what?
It's not even joking.
Even more is that she didn't even ask him out at the end. I'm like, you liked him. I mean, At
Well,
least
to shoot
most
is
of him.
Wasn't there almost like
Like-
a little innuendo that maybe?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
why
Oh, yeah.
you say, "Let's go grab a cup of coffee"?
It wasn't
and then
even like
kinda
that,
Makes
yeah.
it feel a little better.
She didn't
You know,
even
you're gonna
move
give
on.
This guy a shot.
Dude, it was repulsive.
Like
Get
she
a little portion.
had already got what she wanted.
Right.
Yeah,
already
it's
got what she wanted. So
yeah,
was
so
repulsive.
weird.
Yeah,
Once
TJ,
he, and like you're saying, Juju with the jet, like it just got thrown in there. Oh, we need to have him do something in this movie. Oh, the jet. You know, this
Well, I
movie,
was glad to
It's
see the
invisible.
invisible jet. I was happy that they made a reference to the invisible jet. I did want
I agree.
that.
but it was
Yeah, I
a
agree.
reference.
I wanted
It's a
that. I was
cool
happy, and then you're like, but it was. I was happy that happened. I was happy with, like, there was a lot of things that I was happy with, but it was like when you're all together, it was just so weird. It's such a strange
You
movie.
can't think too much about it.
No, it's not like the
I
first
think
one.
I think though thematically, here's our other missing piece. You know that what is the story trying to say, right? You know, because first of all, our villain is an unusual character because his crime is he's granting everybody their wish that comes with a disadvantage. Hence, with Wonder Woman, she got granted a wish, and then she loses some of her powers, but an odd amount of her powers she loses, right? Because she can still kind of do impossible feats, except for she can kind of get hurt sometimes. So it's a really it's such an abstract consequence for granting of the wishes that it was really hard to even kind of comprehend the threat of giving people wishes, because it's like, so Wonder Woman just went from being as tough as Superman to being as tough as Spider-Man, and that was her cost to get Chris Pine back. So it's kind of an odd. There's just no theme to that,
Well,
and
it
also
varied. It varied. So it's like, why did she
Yeah.
pay for it once? Why was it all up and down the whole time?
Yeah.
right,
like she could
That's
flip
Somebody
a
explain
truck.
to me why
She
we
could flip
sat
a
through
military
that.
truck,
right,
and
No,
then
you
all
said
of a
right.
sudden she couldn't like pick up a pebble. It was
Well,
Yeah,
just
her loss of power wasn't like Superman. They were trying to go for the Superman 2, where he's like losing his power and it's heartbreaking, but they really showed him getting hurt in the second one. And like, it's traumatizing when you see him get beat up, and he is nothing. And he is, until he agrees to get his power back, that was it. But like, she didn't suffer like that. She just kind of was hurt, and then she's got her armor. She's able to beat, the cheetah. She's able to win still. Like,
Yeah, see,
What was the point of the armor? I
just
mean,
I guess 'cause she's
for this
weaker.
action figure.
they had this,
For the,
Yeah, make an
I got
action
this.
stuff.
Wisteria and all this stuff, and then you think, okay, when the armor shows up, there's going to be this
well,
great.
hey, hold on right there. Let's actually go around. That way, everybody's not talking over each other. Let's start with TJ and do like a 2-minute run through on what your thoughts of the movie, and we'll go counterclockwise. We'll go TJ, Howie, Adam, all the way around the corner. And
sounds good.
Go ahead, TJ. Let us know what you thought about the movie. Go from the middle, go through.
The movie. I mean, I had a lot of problems with it. The very first part before the opening title credits, I thought was probably the best part of the movie. What happened with the mascara and the lesson that she was being taught, that was on par with the first movie, I thought. But then it kind of ended up being like Adam said earlier, it was like they had a checklist of everything that they had to have in the movie, and come hell or high water, they were going to have that in the movie, whether it made sense or not. And you end up with this Max Lord being we know Max Lord from the comics. I mean, so if you're going to bring him in from the source material, he had that. I mean, there again, one of the big things to me was, oh, okay, they did all this just for the nosebleed shot. And, I didn't, and this whole thing about with the particle beams, and I'm just like, why, if it was the Dreamstone, why didn't they just basically use Dr. Destiny?
Sure.
To me, that would have made so much more sense. And even what you could have brought Steve Trevor back because Dr. Destiny could have, whether using the Dream Stone or whatever, you still wouldn't have lost that ability. But with his kid and all that, it was just disjointed, I thought. Like I said, they had beats that they had to hit, the invisible jet. So where did all of a sudden this ability of Diana's to create invisible energy, where did that come from? And again, like I was saying, the armor, there was somewhat of a buildup for the armor saying, okay, when we see this armor in the finale, it's gonna be kick ass. And really, I mean, all the armor served to do was block freaking Cheetah's, blows, and even then, not so much.
Yeah.
But the other thing with Kristen Wiig, especially at the beginning, whenever you're first introduced, so much reminded me of her character in Anchorman 2. I'm sitting there thinking, is Brick Tamland going to show up here pretty soon? And then, as she made her wish and started, opening up a little bit, then she became a little bit more interesting. But, first I'm just like, I've seen this character before.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But yeah, overall, I mean, it just, there was too much weird decisions that Patty Jenkins made. I mean, the whole lasso of truth basically being an extension of Spider-Man's web shooters. Some points, what the hell was she grabbing onto?
Right.
To launch herself into the air. And then all of a sudden she can fly.
Right.
I mean, where did that come from?
Didn't she fly at the end of the first one too? I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. But
I don't believe.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think she jumped really high.
Really high.
She jumped high like early Superman, like
yeah, when she was in Paris. Yeah, I think it was Paris.
She jumped. She leaped.
Yeah, for the Ares fight, she jumped and they.
But at the ending, she acted like she was leaping. But she fully flew in this one.
Well, what do you think, Howie? Like, what's your take on it?
Aside from the earlier dramatics, but about the music, I mean, I just don't understand the use of 1984 when you don't have a reference to the book. I mean, that's a big thing. 1984, you got me thinking of the book. I mean, that is one of the biggest literary works we have. That's what uses 1984 the most. And everybody thought of it during 1984. Everybody was thinking at the time of that book, and it's come up recently. So I thought maybe you'd make an allusion to that. I feel no connection to 1984. I don't get why they did it. I don't get why it was the 80s other than a couple of fanny pack jokes in the mall and some outfits. But the moderator pointed out, Heroenberg, we did have some songs, but I couldn't tell they were enough. And she also, Heroenberg pointed out that plane, the plane is a museum piece. I've been to the museum. You can't just hop in one and fly to Cairo. There's little things like this that just make no sense. And you don't have to be like a scientist to know that plane can't get to Cairo. And I didn't understand kids playing in the streets in the Middle East. Why were there kids in the street playing soccer ball
on a highway? It's like
it was like a highway.
Such weird stuff like that. And the first movie was amazing to me. I loved the first one, and I looked past people naysaying the third battle. I liked it. There was some goofy, but it's a superhero movie, so I'm okay with the goofy final battle thing. But oh my God, this didn't even feel connected to the first one. And I love the first one, and I think Patty Jenkins is amazing. I don't know what was up with this one, but I look at this felt, people crap on the Green Lantern movie. This felt, oh my God. And I got to look at the similar things. Who also worked on Green Lantern? To me, it's Jeff Johns worked on Green Lanterns, and now he's got a story writing credit on this. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what his idea of superhero movies is. I don't know. They don't look like his books he's made. I don't know what happens when the movie and he gets story writing credit. I know a lot goes into movies. I know there's probably other writers credited. this had a feel unlike what they were going for. Unlike what they were building, this doesn't feel connected to a universe. This doesn't even feel connected to the first Wonder Woman other than the same actors. I don't know what this is, and I liked it. So think of that as you want. I will forgive it. This doesn't feel connected. I don't even know. And Pedro Pascal gave his all. He was totally involved. He's an awesome actor. He tried.
Amazing.
He did his best. He was awesome. Mm-hmm. And like I cared for him when he connected with his son. I really cared, and I think he's an amazing actor, and I thought the kid did great. And it was their 3 interactions. Like they didn't have this long, outstanding relationship. I just connected with it as a kid, like as a son. That's and that's something probably other people's. If you didn't have that connection, it's not going to mean anything to you because it wasn't given to you. Like I personally connected with him as an actor because I really like him, and I love Kristen Wiig, and it's like, what the heck? I don't get a lot of this. And it wasn't offensive. Like I'm not ranting. I'm just saying, man, it's sad because they were on a roll and just so many. And I don't think they're not purposely insulting you. It's just a misfire that happens. It's not there's nipples on the bat suit here, or there's not Last Jedi. They're making fun of you for being a fan. It's not like that. It's just. This is a weird thing that happened, and it feels like there's no editing. It's what is that magic stone? Even with the stone, it didn't glow. It didn't do anything supernatural. And then he made himself the stone. And it's just I wish to be the stone. I don't know. What did you think, Shelley? What is your gripe? Go ahead, Shelley. I yield my floor time of 1 minute.
My non-Wonder Woman expert. I don't have all the background of all the comics. I absolutely loved the first movie because I thought it went in a very smart, very authentic way to a much deeper look at our world today, and compared to the history of social responsibility and how we care for each other. I thought the first one addressed that so well, just far and above beyond an entertainment movie. I think that that's probably the hardest fall for this is because the first one was just so genuine and actually had a really strong, deeper message that for this one to be thrown out there and miss the target so much on, I think it was trying to put that deeper message out there, but you can't give me fun games, lighthearted comedy the entire way and then deliver a speech at the end and expect me to buy into it. It's just not going to work. I was that's actually where they lost me. I was kind of enjoying it more as lighthearted fun and okay and able to dismiss things you can't fly to Cairo in a fighter jet. I mean, just totally ridiculous. But then you're going to throw this deep, meaningful speech about humanity at me, and I'm sorry you've lost me because you did not build that up the entire movie. You gave me entertainment, lightheartedness, and now you're trying to go shift completely, and you're going to lose me. So, I mean, was it the worst thing I've ever seen in my life? No. I guess I enjoyed it in the moment because I wanted to, more than anything, but there's just a lot of holes the more you think about it, and it's certainly going to be one of those movies that's hard to rewatch. It's just going to get worse every time you watch it.
What about you? Adam?
Adam, just if you don't mind,
now, jump in.
We've got a couple super chats that I want to just post before they come out. We got Lord Ravener. This was back when we were talking. He says, "Imagine if this is for Christopher Klein's character, if he inhabited Leon, the homeless guy."
Yeah, and that might have been better for him. He could have been dying from AIDS or something, and she gave him his last, hurrah.
Yeah.
He
died, and then he died a few weeks,
Way better. She could have cleaned him up.
The smell would have been horrible.
But it would have been kind of cool because maybe even that, if it's Leon, and that because maybe he's just on the street, Diana, and then at the end, maybe he's like, I feel pretty damn good. You see him walking towards a Walmart, ready, it says hiring. You know what I mean? And maybe he does that. Maybe he's got a crack pipe. He throws a crack pipe aside. He starts walking. A little
feel-good movie.
You know,
crack was in 1984. They should have had some crack in there.
Yeah, 84 crack was,
Crack was huge in the 80s.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, we'll go back to you, and then actually, when you're done, we're going to go to the next super chat we had because you actually commented in that.
Yeah, I think, to sum up the experience of the film, because I think to echo everyone else, everyone enjoyed the first film. And there's a lot of good people working on it, is that really at the core of it, it didn't say anything. It didn't have a theme. It didn't have a heart, or at least not one that was moving. And you have this odd relationship between Wonder Woman and Kristen that just sort of doesn't result in her just being envious, and then she becomes Cheetah. But then she really fights her because she's somehow protecting Lord. I just felt the whole time, I'm like, I just don't know what I'm invested in here, and I don't actually care for you and Chris Pine to actually be together, Wonder Woman. I don't actually want you to beat Cheetah in this fight. I don't think you're actually more altruistic than this oil baron, because your behavior, the film is just kind of childish, and so I think so as a result of the experiences, we don't exhibit any of the moral themes that make Wonder Woman special, right? She just goes from being actually a really moral woman with really high values to just a woman with a lasso, and she, with this, and the odd, pseudo weird consent thing that just undermined any ability to feel like this is a woman of character, and for no reason, and then a villain who not really actually that bad of a guy, probably not actually worse of a person than Wonder Woman really in any way. He wanted to make the world better and to fix his life, so it just kind of ended up just a flat dud, wow, we just 2.5 hours and 200 million, and we just got we lost the heart of what really makes Wonder Woman special, that she's a morally profound woman.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'll leave it at that. And I guess maybe the final thing about with Cheetah is such a bummer is that the build up for just this one real fight, at the end, that is kind of short lived and kind of in the dark and
with those effects.
Yeah, and she's CG half the time, which is the one weakness I think in Kristen being Barbara, is that Barbara is supposed to be a physically powerful and imposing woman, and Kristen Wiig, who is an amazing comedian, is the opposite of an imposing, physically powerful looking woman. Yeah. So it's really hard to even kind of buy Cheetah. It's like,
it's unfair to her. It's unfair.
Yeah, it's really exactly, because I love that woman and everything. And it's like you put a size 2 in there who's 5'6", next to an Amazon, and it's like, I'm at you. It's like, okay, we're not. It's just not. It just didn't take me there. So that's my summation with it.
Now let's just jump into this super chat before we head over to Blevin's thought on this. Mark C, thanks for $10 super chat. At the end of Wonder Woman 84, the music from BVS showing the Wayne's death scene is played. Do you think Flashpoint may cover whether or not a young Bruce has renounced his wish?
That's a good point. They did play that Wayne song so loud. I didn't know what that was about. They played the Bruce Wayne song from Batman vs. Superman as if it was a main theme of this movie. That was way more than the Wonder Woman theme. That piano song is from when he talks about losing his parents in the beginning of the movie. It's one of the the best scenes of that movie. That was odd to me. I don't know what that choice was about, unless they just didn't have time to score something new. And if it is purposeful, they didn't even show Bruce Wayne. That took me out of the moment, because I said to her, I go, that's Batman's theme from the new movies. And I didn't know how that correlated to when he was talking about losing his parents and the falling down the well. That's supposed to be about his fall and the rise to becoming Batman. And dude, I don't know what that was about. And I can't.
This movie was just a Frankenstein.
I can't. I feel like they didn't have time to score a new thing, and they knew that was one of their best themes because it's Hans Zimmer, and they just plopped it in. And if it has a deeper meaning, maybe it will be in Flash. But how's Flashpoint going to work with this new Justice League version. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how that could correlate, honestly. Do you think they care?
I don't think they're going for that combined universe.
I don't think
thing.
they're going for it either.
There was actually an article about it too. I think online there's an article about how DC looks like they're moved because of what they're going to be doing with HBO Max. So it's almost like Snyderverse is going to continue on HBO Max, while this other universe will continue in the theaters.
Well, yeah,
and,
the Ben Affleck Batman movie is going forward with Batman, and it's going to be a TV series, like a 5-episode series. Just like Justice League was.
So if you like that version of whatever they're doing, it's going to be on the app.
Yeah. It'll be exclusive to it's just another reason for people to subscribe to the app and stuff. Yeah. So they're going to have, just like, Disney Plus is doing with all their stuff, but they're just absolutely crushing it.
Yeah, they're like
every 2 months now we're going to have a new series, whether it's Star Wars based or Marvel Universe.
Yeah, they're just going to, but we don't know where they connect on either level.
Yeah, but with the DC stuff, we don't know.
Yeah. And Marvel's going to have to do the same thing. Now Marvel's not going to connect because of this multiverse stuff. It's going to be the same. There's not going to be one connecting thing now because, if you were still pissed about Andrew Garfield, it's okay because here he comes in his own series.
Yeah.
That's what we're getting. They're trying to get everybody now that everything's so desperate. It seems like that theme song was just plopped in there, I feel, almost like how you go on YouTube and you're like, I need music for my podcast. What's available? That's how it feels. We need a meaningful song. Here's this really good music. We'll just plop it in there. It didn't. And I thought of Batman right away, but
what's sad about that is that they must not give much credit to the fans that they would recognize. I think that's probably the saddest part about that decision, if that is the case.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Agreed. Blevins, your thoughts now?
So this movie wasn't Last Jedi.
No,
so that's I think it was better than Last Jedi.
Absolutely.
On the bright side, I love it.
I think it was also better than. I think it was better than the Fantastic Four movie with Miles Teller. Even though I love Miles Teller, I think it was better than that. But that's probably about where the niceties end. Like there were so many just gaping holes that I just couldn't unsee. Like again, the whole mall, keeping this incredible, powerful item in like the back storeroom of a strip mall, jewelry store was just ridiculous. And how did anybody even know that those were back there? I don't know. It was weird. I don't understand why when she used her wish that, Chris Pine didn't come back as just Chris Pine, like Whitehead didn't inhabit a body. When they mentioned the Wonder Woman armor, which I thought was crazy, towards the end of the movie when she's, first of all, she kisses dude and she's like, I renounce my wish, and just walks away from him. So I wonder if that dude's like, how did I get down to that? Where am I at? Like, why am I wearing this outfit? Why are all these people here? Why am I wearing lipstick? It was just.
It was probably like, why am I so sore?
Oh my god! My hip.
Oh my god!
The scene where she threw the lasso, and then yanked herself, and she goes flying into the air. Like normally, at least with Spider-Man, you have buildings around, so you're like, okay, well, it's possible. Like the tag, like there was nothing there, and they show you there's nothing there, and then so she's flying. She's like, man, I got to get to this station where I know dude is at. She's gliding in the air, flying in the air, and then they cut to the scene where they're at the radio at the satellite station, and she's in the armor. Like, when did she stop and get the armor? The armor was where she was at when she denounced her wish and left. And she's like, hey, we need to denounce. Everybody needs to denounce their wishes or whatever it is. But like, what about all the people he tricked into like, hey, don't you really wish that I, that I could make it to this place on time and there's no traffic? He's like, yeah, I wish that. And the guy they don't even know that they got a wish. They don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
But and the CGI for Cheetah, I thought was horrible. I don't know about you guys. Like, I thought it was horrible. But the only thing that I liked about the whole movie was when Wonder Woman is saying, like, hey, look, like, what did you do, Barbara? because she's up in the the deal or whatever before she jumps down, and they have like this really dark shot of her, and I thought she looked incredible. I thought Kristen Wiig looked incredible as Cheetah in that one shot, and then it was horrible for the rest of the whole movie. And like, when did she lasso of truth that dude? And then catching the bullet with the lasso of truth? What? She's like, oh, and it's like, oh, the bullet's going for it. He's like, oh, I got it. All right, lasso of truth. Yeah, I guess the only thing that could have been better is if they wouldn't have made the movie.
Oh my god!
I mean, they should have maybe I'm just gonna start calling it like Wonder Woman 84 because I hated it.
I like it.
It was luckily, you'll never see it in restaurants because HIPAA laws say you can't have pieces of crap in the dining room. It's just, I don't know if I could get the point across a lot, but it was an absolutely horrible movie.
That's savage. This comment is true. Robert Anderson.
I had to pop this up because I was waiting for something like this to come out of Blevins' mouth.
Oh, that's great. That's great, Robert.
Niall, do you want to read that?
Niall, I'll read that out loud. A week after this movie, handsome man is indicted for numerous felonies, including attacking the Secret Service in the White House and stealing a jet from the Smithsonian.
Yeah, absolutely.
That poor guy's life is ruined.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it was so ridiculous, and to see the guy morph into Chris Pine, from the different angles, and then obviously they had to show him as Chris Pine so we would know that he was Chris Pine. But I mean, everybody else just saw him as handsome man, and I don't even know if she saw him as Chris Pine.
It should have just been Chris Pine showed up out of magic.
Yeah, absolutely. She showed up out of nowhere.
Magic rock. What? This feels like a studio or somebody's comment that got in there and stuck around in the script, and they didn't change it. When
I first saw the trailer, I actually thought he came from back, from the past to the future, and all this stuff. And then I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, well, this is I had no clue what happened. I'm like, oh, it's
like a ghost possessed. It's like
what
when
causes watch to tick. So that means he's coming back. So I'm thinking a time warp's going to open.
Oh my god! And they're on a mission to save the world, and they steal a plane. She magically has the ability to make the plane invisible. They're on their way to Cairo in this stolen jet. Military's after her to get them, and they're like, "Hey, let's go look at the fireworks."
It was beautiful. Blevins, that was beautifully romantic.
It's awesome.
It was
some of the best CGI, though. Yeah, look, some of the best CGI, because even through all the clouds, you could see the individual fireworks.
Yeah, you can
I was
see
like, that's
clearly.
good CGI.
Yeah, fireworks.
What's the Teen Sensations thought on this?
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead. It's
wonderful. Wonderful comments by everyone. I agree with everything everyone is saying here. Far better, far more advanced minds than mine. But just a couple of things, if I may, that I'll try to cover things that haven't already been covered. The Bruce Wayne angle. While I was watching the film, I'm like, Bruce Wayne could take care of this. Batman could end this. Batman could stop this. Batman will figure out a way how to do this. Then it occurred to me that how old is Ben Affleck? And if it's 1985, how old would Bruce Wayne be at the time? And I know this has been brought up. Would Bruce Wayne's, would he be around 10 years old? And what would his only wish be? He's not Batman yet. It's 1984. Would that be to bring his wife back? To bring his because I think Ben Affleck is 46 years old or something. So he'd be around 10 years old.
Yep.
And would he be to bring his parents back? Yep. And then is this now this boy have to watch his parents die all over again or disappear before his very eyes?
Yep.
I mean, think about that.
Whose body would his parents inhabit?
Alfred is Mrs.
Alfred's like, call me daddy now.
Yeah, Alfred's like, oh my God, I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And then the thing with the again, we were all talking about the Chris Pine thing, how it baffles everyone. every single person that every YouTube video I've seen, reviews of it, everyone I've spoken to, friends of ours that we've spoken to after seeing it this past couple of weeks or so, not one person thinks that the handsome man being taken over by Chris Pine is a good idea.
Yeah.
Not one person. So is this Patty Jenkins empowered now, and she's in that world where like it's the Emperor's New Clothes type of thing? Yes, you're right. Oh, that's a great idea, Patty. Did she have that much control over the film because Snyder was not there to take a step back? What is it? What's the other Heidel? It's
Alan Heinberg.
Heinberg. Was Alan as involved at all as he was in this? I don't know, because I was so friggin' bored about it. I didn't really even care to look into it to see it. And I got to be honest. I think what Blevins said, the best thing about this film is that it shouldn't have never been made. I think the directing sucked. I think the story sucked. I think the special effects sucked. I also wonder if you bring the Linda Carter character back and they mention her right earlier on and she wears her armor, why wasn't the Linda Carter character, instead of just a little cameo, why not bring her back? If you're doing all this cool stuff, let her in a scene. Let her see
someone. She make a wish? Why didn't she make a wish to
That's
fix
her armor, by the way, too.
Yeah.
When she had gone to get her armor?
Yeah, exactly. And I thought, and it wasn't covered in the film, the reason why, and as you were saying, Howie, the reason why the armor is so they can sell more toys, or there's another image. But the real reason should have been, and this is what I thought watching it, is that the armor would have been because she is weaker. She needs the armor because she's weaker. But there's no mention of that.
That makes sense storyline wise.
She's vulnerable now.
But that weakness was so underused that she was strong in intermediate points. Like she was still doing. It wasn't like Superman 2. He is nothing in Superman 2.
Yeah,
that's how weak you have to make him. Or Spider-Man 2. He's really weak in Spider-Man 2 also.
Yep. And I remember watching. And I was probably if Superman 2 came out in 80, right?
Yeah.
So I'm 13. Right. And I remember watching that scene in the diner where the guy beats him up or wherever it was, or like he came back to the diner at the end. And you're like, oh my God, it was awful.
I cried.
Yeah. I remember watching, like, how is he going to figure this out? How is this going to happen?
It's startling. It's really a disturbing. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. And it's Superman and there's 3 of them and there's Lex and oh my gosh, what is going on? But that said, we just had a story meeting with for an hour with J.C. Vaughn, Debbie, and Peros, Steve Peros, and it's all about, we're doing some really the direction we're going is very is earth shattering to the She history, and we would go back and forth and even points of arguing. Debbie got very upset, and I'm sitting there watching this film, and I'm like, after we got done and we were eating, and I'm like, we just went through this incredible emotional roller coaster ride of trying to make every single thing. If we change this, we have to cover our asses on every single beat of why a certain particular thing may or may not happen at the end of She-Way, She Haikyō, our Kickstarter and Indiegogo book. And if we went through that, there was none of that in this film, unless there was just so much arguing of what the direction do to make. And I don't know if Jeff Johns has been silent or not since the film came out. Has he done any interviews? Has anyone pressed him? Or has he answered that about all of these? There's not one. The strings are all broken. There's no A to B at all. It's a mess. And I think that if this film was released remember it was supposed to be released last November, I guess. And it was originally supposed to be released summer.
It was the summer movie originally.
Released in fall of 19 was it supposed to be released, and they pushed it back to summer 2020, and then COVID happened. I think if this movie was released and there was no COVID, I think it would have been a bomb anyway. I think it would have had a really good opening weekend. I think it would have trailed off, and it would have been considered a disaster.
It would have had a huge opening weekend and then the trail off, because it would have benefited from the first movie and people liking, Chris Pine and Gal Gadot.
Right, and they were fantastic. I thought they were fantastic. I love the chemistry.
The drop would have been horrible.
Right, but not like if you remember Wonder Woman the film, by word of mouth, that film kept going.
Yep.
You know, it kept going
Yeah.
on the art. It kept going. It kept going because more. We went to go see it again. You know, everybody wanted to see. Wow, I saw it in 3D. I hate 3D. I'm like, I can't see this movie. I got to watch it on 2D. But that was the only seats available was at the 3D showing. So we saw it, and I can't stand.
Well, that movie was like the game changer. Like that, the first Wonder Woman. Well, the first Wonder Woman movie. I mean, everyone's like, this is the game changer. DC may actually have something to compete with the Marvel universe and what Disney's doing.
True.
It just, you know, and then Aquaman followed. And it was like, all right, they're continuing some good momentum. You know, Aquaman hit over $1 billion worldwide, and then it just, you know, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And they hyped this movie up a lot.
They
They
did.
hyped it up a lot, and I think the consensus here is similar around the panel, and is that nothing. We were introduced to segments in the movie, but nothing led up to it. Like Kristen Wiig, you know, she started off as a stereotypical nerdy character. No one's paying attention to her. Then her wish gets her attention. Then all of a sudden she's getting powers because she wanted to, you know, to be like her. And then all of a sudden she's fighting Wonder Woman, and out of nowhere she's a cheetah. Like they didn't even break to like her falling to the ground, transforming or anything. She's just cheetah. And I don't know what her purpose is. Like all of a sudden, she wants to protect this guy. And
How did it end up a cheetah?
Yeah, exactly. Like why? How did it?
Apex predator?
Like, was she like, "No, I want to be the most fiercest predator on this planet"?
Could have been a bear.
But a cheetah is the apex.
Tiger,
So
a bear.
it's
A
all-
lion's pretty fierce.
But even with the armor, right? They start when she cheats, and they show the armor and how. And I forget what the warrior's name was that had the armor. But you know, they said that this armor took on an entire army. Yet Cheetah's flaking it off like it's freaking pine cones on a
Beat the
tree,
crap out of that armor.
knocking them all off. And
I
it
thought
just-
that was so badly directed, like and filmed, how that fight was. But the enclosed thing, I thought was such a weak way of showing her breaking this beautiful armor.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so cheap because the armor is so awesome, and in the comics it looks cool, and it was nothing.
Yeah.
There was no
I know.
consistency.
That's the
Her
key to
just
combat.
smacking it. It was really weird that it was this close shot, almost this, you know, like grade school project shot of her in the armor, and it was like then somebody smacking it, and then the wings are gone. I just don't.
And then she blows the wings off, so she has like her power back.
Well, being in the presence of somebody as talented as Billy Tucci, I have to bring this up as the value of comic books, right? Is that this is Wonder Woman Dead Earth. This is written by and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson. And this is the instead of watching WW84, WWDE, Dead Earth. This deals with her and Barbara's relationship in a post-apocalyptic setting. She rips Superman's spine out and uses it as a weapon. It's heartfelt. It's moving. Read the book. You know, we spent all this time bitching about the movies that were based on the books, but we should read the good books. And the more if we bought as many books as we buy movie tickets, it would change the nature of what we see in the theater and of comics, right? And so I can't say it enough. Like I read, you know, in a year, 40, 50 graphic novels at least. And this is the best one I've read in years. It's amazing. Wonder Woman is an amazing character with so much depth, and this is like this amazing reminder. It's Daniel Warren Johnson's amazing epic art, Mike Spicer's out of this world colors that built this amazing story about. And in this one, you know, Barbara has a cheetah head for a hand and a mouth that goes all the way up to her ears with all these teeth, and she's incredible. And so I think that's my summation of it all. Is like we were looking to this film to save the DC universe. And it's like, if you want to save the DC universe, pick up the DC universe.
Yeah.
You know, buy the DC universe book, you know, that supports this incredibly cool artist and a division of DC that shrinks by the minute. So anyways, that's my statement about it. Is it's like,
yeah, I wish they promoted the books. I think at the convention, they didn't even mention the original creator of Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even mention the real guy that made Wonder Woman. They act like Jim Lee is Stan Lee, and he's not. Jim Lee is not Stan Lee.
Yeah.
He made Wildcats.
he's talented. He's amazing.
Yeah,
He's a talented guy.
He's great Wonder Woman.
Just amazing.
The guys aren't getting the credits that they deserve.
Day One Siegel and Schuster never exist because they had to pay them money, and they still have to pay them money, and they're angry they wanted these things to just show up out of midair. I think that's what they want. They don't want to acknowledge the books. They want to serve you scenes. Call them a movie. Here's some scenes. Hope you like them. Buy some stuff. But it didn't work this time.
You know.
This isn't a story. This isn't. It's a bunch of things, and it just showed everybody's really sad right now, and we wanted a movie, and you gave it to us at home, and it didn't do it, man. It didn't even make people forget. Like you couldn't. You just sat there going, "Man, this doesn't feel like a full story."
It made me wish I had COVID.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
No, not at all.
Put that on the DVD.
Not at
Oh
all.
my savage.
Do you think now? I've seen this come up a lot in the comments. It's come up a lot in the comments. And Shelley, let me ask you: did you, in your opinion? So a lot of people say that this script it was written by a feminist. It's very feminist. Going in as the only female on this panel here.
She's a lady.
Forced on lady. She's Shelley lady. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think it was too heavily feminine focused?
I don't think so.
I mean, no, not at all. I mean, I don't know. I think that God, we are living in such a polarizing culture that, you can kind of pick up anything and turn it into the extremist version of what you want the story to be about. I mean, I just see that every day happening, right? And people will pinpoint certain things. Yes, that makes this feminist. I mean, feminism is what ultimately, I guess they'd say the bastardization of feminism is that, man-hating chicks, right? I think what we are seeking is more on the equality level, which, while hasn't been fully realized, has certainly been well on its way with characters like Wonder Woman for decades. I mean, so I guess it depends on what version of feminist you want to believe in and call it. I mean, I love that Wonder Woman is just, I mean, she's a chick and she's powerful and she doesn't necessarily rely on a guy to do that, which I will say, if you want to say the opposite, this Wonder Woman depends an awful lot on a guy. So it could be almost, you could say, the antithesis of feminism in a lot of ways. She's powerful and kick ass, but this movie especially made her incredibly desperate for one dude. I'm like, really?
70 years old.
You can't get over him?
It was 70 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
You spent a weekend together.
So he must be so impressive. Chris
to be honest, I don't know.
Well, I mean, clearly he's a story trope. It's the only thing they've got to hang on, and they got this huge gap in time. And he's a story trope, to motivate plot. He doesn't have a theme.
Threads that never became really pulled through or realized, right, in this film. I think for me, one of the worst ones was that at the end of the film, she was still so freaking hung up on Chris Pine, she didn't move on. She didn't.
Would you say she was pining for him?
Blevins. No. Blevins.
Yeah.
No?
Stop.
Oh,
you monster.
Well,
I think
everyone's thoughts.
I think
that explains why they had Chris Pine come back in that guy's body because he was packing.
Oh,
Handsome guy.
Handsome guy.
So
Yep,
for the viewers out there that haven't seen this film, and we've spoiled absolutely everything.
I'm so sorry you listened to this. I don't know why you didn't tune out earlier.
Some people I know are actually waiting to go to the theaters to see it.
My God!
They're going to go to the theaters to see it. They're going to do their thing. Here's my recommendation, and you can disagree. If you have HBO Max and you haven't watched it yet, there's no harm in seeing it.
right.
It's not like the worst thing in the world.
No.
Like I watch it, I'm not like, I'll never watch it again. I'm gonna watch Designing Women.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I got into it. I was just like, there's points I was like I almost was like, wait, did I miss something? Did I like fall asleep? Like how did I get to this point? And if you can get past that, it's still a nice bit of time. You know, you're watching it at home. It's not like it's costing you anything extra. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I would watch it. It's not going to kill you. It's not the absolute horrible thing.
I mean, it's not going to help you though either.
Yeah, it's not going to help you.
Actually, don't watch it read this.
Read,
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Read this.
Adam's right.
Read this.
Adam's
You know what I
probably
mean?
right. There's a ton of Wonder Woman. I mean, I've got that Golden Age collection. The Wonder Woman Golden Age collection's great. You can buy that on Amazon pretty cheap. Actually, I got
Absolutely.
go get the.
Not worth the 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
there's
Oh,
so
I bet
really
you can read it quicker.
You probably can.
there's so many more exciting ways to experience that great character that's been a legacy in comics, and you can experience her in lots of other ways, you know, that are awesome. And then you can move on to movie 3, you know.
But like I was affected by the ending, you know, like with Pedro Pascal, I was affected by that. I love what he did. But I'm like in a holiday recent, you know, tragedy stuff kind of messed up mindset. So I'm saying it still got to me, but it just felt disjointed. You know, it felt really disjointed. It's not what I thought. I thought this was going to be better than the first one. I love what they did with the first one, and I wasn't, you know, I saw people trying to hate on it. People always go after DC movies and try to purposely crap on them. They really do.
Yeah.
And I like Man of Steel, even though there's certain things, you know, I get what the criticisms are, but I still like Man of Steel, and I don't know where I'd put this. Like, I don't know how it connects to the other movies. That's a big problem with me. Yeah. I don't know where this one fits.
Hey, show us the Internet Movie Database now.
Oh yeah, real quick, just so you guys do see this. It's pretty funny.
You know, that brings up another good point.
He is Handsome Man.
That
is his
What
name.
has he done? What has Handsome Man
Poor
done?
guy.
This guy's a good guy.
He does a lot of Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
He looked like a Hallmark.
He looked like a Hallmark guy.
You know what? Though?
He's
This almost seemed like a Hallmark movie.
It did. It was like a Hallmark movie, except for the unquestionable.
No. You people clearly don't watch enough Hallmark movies. They always end with people getting together happily ever after.
Yeah, she walked away.
I know. But I mean, as far as the timing and the scenarios, it was like in the middle of this movie, I'm thinking, is this on Hallmark Channel?
Yeah, her staring at the balloon. Was that weird to anybody? Was she supposed to be staring at the star in her headband? Is that what the red star meant?
I don't know.
She stares at a red star balloon. Did anybody else get like that? Brought me out too. I was like, why is she staring at this red star balloon?
Yeah, there's so many weird.
Well, we're approaching the end of our panel, and what I'd love to do is Adam, really quick. I know you've got a few things still in the works. I'd love to give you a couple seconds to plug a couple. You know, I know you've got the 8th.
I've got the 8th. It's an awesome tale. It's a gripping and harrowing story about a teenage maths genius who uncovers a piece of ancient Sumerian armor, and he uses mathematics to manipulate the armor. And then he soon finds himself on a path to destroy the world. And he takes along his friend here, Emma, with him, and Atticus. And it begins in a small town and leads us to the end of the world. And it's a really cool take on a superhero that is troubled and he has been abused and turns into a villain at first until he realizes that mistake, and then he tries to correct it before all is lost. So that's the 8th. It's cool. It's we're just about ready to ship it. It's 212 pages. We unlocked the 12-page mini story, and it's hardcover, slipcase. It's embossed. It's a beautiful book. So that's the first one. And then if you've got the Kill Journal, I'll leave it just to those two. This is a horror graphic novel, and this is the tale. And this is what happens after the horror movie ends, when there's just a few people left over and their friends are all dead and they're covered in mud and blood. And how do they piece their lives back together? This is the tale of them, and they end up on St. George's Church looking for an answer, and the answer supplied to them by that preacher is revenge. And so they form a club and they go and try and hunt down these revenants or slashers who've killed everyone they love. So it's a beautiful hardcover, leather-bound book. With both of these, though, as soon as you back them, you start getting the digital issues right away. And that the leather-bound book will be out in April, May. It's 112 pages. It's 4 issues, plus we unlocked 24 pages of additional story. So it's an awesome ride. So anyways, if you think about reading something instead of watching Wonder Woman, here's 2 options.
Hell yeah.
And then we've got, everyone head on over to Instagram. You need to follow
Yeah. Howie.
Yeah.
He's going to be the next big Dick Tracy artist.
Well, we're trying. I'm trying to do something.
I thought you said he was going to be the next big dick. I'm sorry.
I'm no. It's not like the handsome guy.
Is that
Yeah.
handsome guy, Howie?
Let's not. Hey, let's have something wholesome for once, and let's just.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're
you
just
guys
trying
can follow
This is
Dick
my
Tracy's
newest post.
Rose Hour.
If you like it, and if you follow me today, I'll follow you back on there. And I got a. If you like 1930s comics, if you like that, I do strictly tributes to Chester Gould's creation and also the 1990 Warren Beatty movie. And if you like that, go ahead and give a follow. And I don't talk about anything else but Dick Tracy on that page. So
Excellent.
No.
Excellent.
it won't suddenly shift to anything. If you like Dick Tracy, that's what you get on that page. Even in the stories, you get all Dick
Or
Tracy.
just classic comics.
Yeah, if you like 1930, if you like those
yeah.
comics of the early age, that style, that's what I'm going for, and I'm looking to recreate that.
So like his Instagram page, do what I do, call out IDW and the other publishers and let them know and show them his art, because this needs to be in the pages of Dick Tracy Comics.
No, how come you're not following him?
What's that? Because
How come you're not following him?
You gotta click that.
Signed in. I'm gonna do my Pop XP, bro.
Just gonna click that right there. Oh, right on air. He waited.
Oh,
Nothing like some peer
Oh my
pressure.
God, he waited on air.
you got caught, Niall.
Well, I don't use this.
Oh, Niall,
I'm
Niall,
Pop
click
XP.
on that
This is
first
Niall.
post. Watch this. Click on that first. Go down.
Where?
Click on the first post. Click on him.
Click on the influencer.
Click on him. Like that. Give that a heart click. Hit that heart. Oh, there we go. That's what we want. There we go. Merry
There's
Christmas.
another one. Just followed.
Another one.
Beautiful.
Another one. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Very, very talented man you are. Very talented man.
Thank you. And shout out to Heroinberg for correcting me on music
Yes.
and everything.
Ehrenberg is a
They were right and I was wrong. That's why the wrench is there, and I don't know what I'm talking about, obviously.
Well, I just want to say a big thank you to Howie and Shelley for coming on. Adam, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. It's always a pleasure having you two on. And the biggest heart goes to Mr. TJ James.
Yes, DJ.
Absolutely.
Longtime fan, friend. He's been with us since day one in that chat.
Are you
Longer with Billy. Longer with a
Are
fan
you
of
pushing anything, TJ James? Are you pushing anything? You got any projects in the works?
Nah, just
loving you, bro.
sitting and reading and enjoying.
There we go.
I gotta share something, Niall.
Like I did say, I did get Carl Kessel's Impossible
look at that.
Jones.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
What'd you get? Is what?
Impossible Jones.
Nice.
It was Carl's birthday yesterday.
Well, I have something, if I may.
Happy
We
birthday.
got an amazing gift from Canada.
Canadian.
Deborah and I, and I gotta turn like this. From our dear friend Candace, who's always in the chat. First of all, she gave us a big, beautiful box of chocolates. That she gave us this, from her family to ours. She gave us this beautiful Christmas card. She gave us lots of candy, a beautiful box of chocolates that's wrapped. We believe it's boxed. We're not going to open it now. But she gave us Kit Kats from Canada, eh?
Nice.
Some Reese's peanut butter cups from Canada, eh?
chocolate, eh?
3 of them.
Oh,
She
they
gave
get
me a
3
mug.
of those?
Look at this. Look at this beautiful mug. Thank you so much, Candace, for
Nice
this.
handle.
And then she gave me a whole bunch of awesome hockey cards.
You're at the wrong camera.
My favorite hockey player, Matt Barzell.
Awesome.
See these beautiful. Look at this, another Barzell
Camera one.
card.
Camera one.
Anders Lee. I mean, look at this. All these great, Ovechkin, Tavares, boo. Again, just an amazing gift. We're so happy. Thank you so much, Candace. You really made our day. But she also gave me this. Now, one of her favorite players, I guess, is now one of my favorite players. His name is J.G. Pajot. And he was on her beloved Ottawa Senators. And he was traded in the spring to my beloved New York Islanders. And now we've embraced him. And she gave me the autograph of a jersey number.
Wow.
By J.G.
Holy
Pajot.
crap.
So I just want to thank you, Candace,
Very generous.
publicly and live and here. Thank you for your amazing generosity. We love you.
Very nice.
And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Matter of fact, we love you all. So
Yes. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us with this. For our
Thank you,
first,
Howie. Good to see you.
what the-
TJ, Clevin,
Movie
Steve.
review.
yeah. What's
Happy
our
New Year.
movie? Are we doing Mandalorian or
Cobra Kai series? Is
Cobra Kai?
Mandalorian I could do. I watched Mandalorian.
We're past Mandalorian.
Yeah, we're past
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai season 3 is the next one.
Yes.
Well, we got to go back to Mandalorian then.
Do we?
Yeah, because it was the best.
Thank you. See,
guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight.
Yeah, 2020 called, they said, "Hey, we like our movie review back."
Yeah. Next review is going to be Cobra Kai season 3, and we'll give our thoughts on 1 and 2 for those that haven't even started the series yet.
Yeah.
So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you all next time. Adam, thank you so much. TJ, it's a pleasure.
Of course, thank you guys.
Kelly, we've got our movie review team here, people.
He's a real pro.
It's happened.
And I love you all. Have a wonderful night. We will see you.
Bye.
We love you too now.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Hey everyone! Thank you for joining us on POPXP. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the POPXP and over on Instagram at the POPXP. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you soon.